Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the natal chart of actor Charlie Sheen, part 1 of 2. And the first thing I want to talk about, well, as many of you may know, he sparked a lot of talk recently because he came out and he said he was HIV positive. And because he's made this revelation, it's obviously he's gained a lot of, I guess you could say, attention and I'm sure extra notoriety because of this. So anyway, first thing I want to talk about is his sun in Virgo. Now this can make Charlie very meticulous, analytical, and detail-oriented. Sometimes, though, on the negative side, maybe critical and judgmental. And look at this, and what's interesting is, and I'm not being trying to be derisive or negative about Charlie Sheen, but I just don't quite see like this scrupulous, like prim and proper Virgo really that strong in him, and perhaps he's more dominated by his sun. I'm sorry, by his moon sign and ascendant sign is what I'm thinking. Well, which I'm going to get to momentarily. Now, he has the moon in Sagittarius. Now, he could be very blunt and outspoken sometimes, maybe even sometimes to the point where maybe he could demoralize others. I know I understand this was in an acting role, but as some of you may have heard in at least one of my other videos, I think sometimes actors are subconsciously at least drawn to roles that are compatible with their nature, that correspond who they are. And I think we might see a little bit of the actual Charlie Sheen in this. There was a scene in that 2.5 Men series when he said someone knocked on his door and he said something like, "You know what, I don't really want to talk to you right now." And he slammed the door in the face of the person. And sometimes Sag moons can do everything but demoralize someone. They could be very blunt and forthright with what they say. And his emotional needs due to this moon position may include traveling, the outdoors, adventure, be very philosophical, and also emotional needs may have to do with exploration. What's interesting is that his moon sign, his moon position, almost exactly conjuncts his 8th house cusp. And obviously the sex could be very strongly connected with his emotional needs. I know that may be true with a lot of people, regardless of astrological placement or of their moon, but I think it shows how really prominent and pronounced this could be, especially like what I'm saying is if you have the moon either in Scorpio or in the 8th house, and he has his moon in Sag conjunct his 8th house cusp, almost exactly conjunct it. Well, anyway, people, next thing, his he has Gemini ascendant, and this can make him very mercurial, changeable, and unpredictable, much more spontaneous than the typical sun in Virgo. Now, he has, in my opinion, this with the Sagittarius moon strongly suppresses his sun in Virgo energy. He could be Gemini rising can be very versatile, adapt to many different roles, and I'm sure he does in his acting roles. Now, can also be very witty, whimsical, and amusing in nature. Now, he has the majority of his planets below the horizon, which is houses 1 through 6. And this indicates he could be more subjective than objective, more introverted than extroverted, and more inclined to be more pessimistic than optimistic. Now, this emphasizes privacy over being out with the public. However, as you know, he's an actor, and he has certain elements in his chart which modifies this. I'm sure with the Gemini rising especially, and having the moon in Sagittarius. Now, he also has a preponderance of his planets on the right side of the chart, which is houses 4 through 9. And this indicates he may be more dependent than self-reliant and prefer to collaborate with others on projects as opposed to doing them on his own. And it indicates, too, he may be more partnership oriented. Now, he has most of his planets in the 2nd quadrant in his natal chart, which are houses 4, 5, and 6. And this shows that Charlie maybe very family oriented, maybe more so than a lot of us maybe know him. So at least, a lot of us may just see him kind of superficially, but this indicates that that family might figure more prominently than we're aware of, and especially the immediate home and children. And it shows that there might be a strong focus on working to support the home and his children, and maintaining his home life. So anyway, most of his planets, the major influences, which are in which, how I see it, are the 10 planets, the MC, and the Ascendant. Most of them are immutable signs, and this shows he could be very adaptable, pliable, easygoing, and able to make most of the adjustments and compromises in relationship situations. On the negative side, he could be very ambiguous, ambivalent, vacillating, and there might be a strong propensity to worry with having most of these major influences and mutable signs. Now, he has the majority of his major influences in air signs. Now, this could make him very communicative, strong intellectual ability, may also be scientific, and can have a strong ability for abstract thought even. And it shows he can be very cerebral and more that with having all these major influences in air signs, this also modifies what I said about him having most of the planets below the horizon, because air signs can be very objective, and he's going to be more objective than, I'm sure, than a typical person that has the preponderance of planets below the horizon in their natal chart like he does. Now, he has his final or chart signature in Gemini, and this can give an overall Gemini tone or feel to the chart. I don't believe it supersedes the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in terms of its significance and impact on the chart. However, the fact that he has Gemini Ascendant, I think this further accentuates the Gemini energy, and this could be another reason why, at least for my perception on him, that it seems like the Gemini Ascendant may dominate his chart along with the Sagittarius Moon. That's why maybe I'm seeing really strongly more the Gemini than I am the Virgo. Not just the simple fact that that's his rising sign, and that may dominate anyway, but even more so than the average person that has a different sun as opposed to their ascendant sign. Well, and I think the Virgo sun is really, I mean, to me, I know I said it before, I don't be too redundant, but it seems like it's strongly camouflaged to me. Now, he has his chart ruler or first house ruler posited in the fourth house. Now, this is the area where Sheen's Gemini rising may come out most prominently, and it could show that he may put a lot of emphasis on matters pertaining to home and family life. And even though Gemini rising might be fickle and changeable, he still might have that need to have that strong, maybe, stability as far as his home life goes and family. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Charlie Sheen's natal chart, part 1 of 2, and stay tuned next time where I'll be dissertating and talking about Charlie Sheen's natal chart, part 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.